Okay, here's where we left off, and what we're going to do is continue on, just right on down here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase this down here because I think I want to redo it after I put the rocks in so I can see how that they kind of do the rough one. I just want it to accent it a little bit better, and I'm not sure I like the way that the feet actually look down here. So first thing I'm going to do is close off the caustics. I don't need them. And need to clear, just kind of clean up some stuff down here. Okay. I'm going to turn this back to white so I can continue working on those. But I think instead of coming up here, I'm going to come down here. And before I do that, I've got some more holes up here that I want to fill in. That was interesting. Oh, I didn't have my brush. There we go. I'm just kind of fill those in. Fill that one in. These are just holes in this. Now, in here, let me erase some of this, and I'm going to grab my favorite pen, and I want to kind of fix a lot of this down here. Okay. It's still not the way I want it, and I want this to come up like this, but I want this to be, a pretty hefty rock right here, and then have, like this rock is behind it. So we'll just kind of, let's see. And what I want though is for this to come around, and then actually I think it's faster if I use the eraser. A little tougher, and not tougher, a little stronger. Come like that. Let that kind of, have be a little, yeah. Let's try the pen. Come on, the pen. There we go. Let's bring it around this way for this guy. Okay. And then these guys bring down and around like that. Okay, and here. So he comes back. Alright, grab the eraser again. I'm not going to leave it that deep. I'm going to build it back out, but I want to kind of at least get the shapes right. There we go. And sometimes it's quicker to do that. Use the paint bucket. Okay, then I can have some guys out here like that. That's going to be rounded. So what'll happen is I've got a rock here, and then there'll be a rock back there. Because we're going to have, I want to have, make it feel like that there's, we don't want all the rocks. We want them to kind of feel like that they're reaching out. That's a good way to put it. They're reaching out this way instead of coming straight down. I want them to flow out. So maybe what I might want to do to get that feel, let's go back to the eraser. Let's bring him on down like this. I think that might, see, so it's just, and let that just reach out. And then this is going to be just a big boulder that's sitting there. Right there on the edge. And maybe come down like that. Let's try that. We'll come down this way. Yes. Okay. What about that? What do you think? Yeah, I think that'll give me what I'm looking for. Okay, let's look at it from a distance. I think though, so I have him right there, and I think what I want to do, and once again I get some stuff in there. Let's go back here. I'm gonna make it bigger. And keep in mind, we're going to have plants, you know, here too, that are going to be taking up some of this and blocking some of this, you know, be on top of it. All right, now let's see what we got. Yeah, I kind of like that. Although I would love for it to kind of have this curve like this. So let's do that. Basically, I'm going to keep that rock there. Kind of come. Oh, look at that. Oh, I must have drawn on top of this. There we go. I'll come back down. Ah, great. Okay. And still get, oh, that is interesting. Didn't realize I had drawn on so far down on this, on the wrong part there. Okay, now let's try it. I've got, come on, pick the pen. And there we go. There we go. Okay, now I need to come, let's shrink this guy down so that we've got a stone there, a stone there, and we'll go ahead and make one there. Okay, let's see how that looks from back here. Looks okay, except that I don't like this part right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and bring this, will come down, and then we'll bring this up. And Okay, now let's try to see how the whole, yeah, I think that'll work. Then it comes this way. And we'll just have them, you know, almost like stepping down in a way, but I want it to feel like it's, man, they're here and they're just reaching out and piling up down here, trying to get onto the ground for some reason. And I gotta, okay. Now what we can do is kind of add some stones down here onto the ground. You know. Okay, come on. Like that. Let's see. And what? I wonder. Nah. I like it. The pen gives me a little bit more control. I was thinking about moving to maybe one of these other types of pens I have, you know, that are just round, you know, like that. But that just isn't. It's just not as easy to work with. Okay, I want to come right up into this one. I've got something here. I think it's a remnant of this guy over here. We'll take care of that later. Let's see, how does that look? I think that's gonna work. So I'm gonna go ahead and select it, and we'll continue on using the blending brush. Bring it down. Let's start with this big guy right here. And let's see, I think what I want to do is go ahead and bring him, and then he's just going to fall into the shadow back there. He's got this light that's shining on here, but that might be too much, but that's okay. We're going to spread it out like that. And then we'll have the ability to push it back up and darken it here so that we can get some shadows with these guys down here, like this guy here. Grab my invisible ink, transparent ink here, and just kind of take away some of this. It's a little bit too much. And let's just give him a little bit of shadow. Back my white. Oh, come on, bring back the white. Okay, now we'll put a rock behind him, like right here. We're just going to let it come right on around and stop there. Just pull what paint we have on there, just pull it on down. Okay, let's see how that's looking. I think I kind of like it. And we're going to, there's a little guy right here that I'm going to go ahead and put in while I can see him. With my artistic eye, I can see him. Okay. Leaving this little section because I'm going to put him kind of in there, and then this guy over here. We're going to put a little bit of rock right there that's kind of, pull it on down there. He's kind of wedged in there. Do I want to have anything else in here? Well, we could do something like that. Just, he's in there. We'll go behind. Okay, let's come up to this one. Go right on around, and we'll pull it down because we're going to have another guy right here. Let's kind of tuck in a little guy right there. And then we can just bring his shade out some more. Okay, I think I'm going to leave a little bit of a dark area here. I'm going to put a little stone there. And then we'll build out more. Now I want to go ahead and put in this guy. He's a pretty good hefty boulder sitting right there. And then we'll pull the paint down. And it's nice to have some streaks in there because that kind of gives, you know, extra shape to it. It's not, like I said, he's not a bowling ball by any means. They're pretty hefty stones. Now, sometimes it's good practice, you know, and you can definitely do this with digital very easily, and that's that you come in and start, if you don't like it, erase it and do it again. You know, kind of play around with it. I'm going to, I like the idea of, you know, a nice big boulder back here. And he's going to come right on down. So it kind of matches these guys up here. And we'll put them in there. Let's now come in so I can get better control. And stay away from that edge because I keep messing it up if I bring this up too far up and pull down. And it's going to pull down the transparency as well. Don't want to do that. Okay, let's back out a little bit. You can put a little tiny. I don't want it to be too tiny. I don't want it to be the same size as these guys either, you know. Okay, and now, yeah, we're going to put something right here. And let's tuck, but I don't want him to be too big. Right here. But I want him to be kind of tucked in there, kind of all part of this big guy here, or at least he's kind of hugging that guy. Let's see. How does that look? Let's look from a distance and we'll turn this down. Okay. Yeah, now I can just go ahead and start going straight up. And we'll deal with these guys later. So now I'm going to turn my selection back on. I'm going to, I think I want this rock to be over the top. Maybe we'll do it this way. And we'll have this guy and this guy here. We're going to have him behind this one. I'll go ahead like that. And then we'll just soften it up. Okay, and then this guy can come in right behind him. Pull my paint down. Right inside there. Okay, and let's now start putting in some rocks right in here. And I'll have another one over here. Maybe something inside this guy here. And we'll keep playing with these guys until we get them the way that we want them. Yeah, like that, like that. basically, you know, if you think about it, we're letting the brush do most of the work. We're just trying to shape it, but you let the brush kind of do its own thing in there, and you know, you start to feel how the shape of the rock should go. Okay, bring him on down here, around here. Come on. And then we'll get real small there, buddy. There we go. There we go. Okay, getting close. And closer to completion. Put something right inside there. Okay, let's come up into here. Shrink this guy down. There we go. And now, of course, if this were a real project, in other words, I was doing it for money, I'd spend a lot more time on these rocks than I am. But this is tutorial, so I'm just trying to show you how to do it. And then you can, you know, on yours, definitely spend a lot more time, you know, shaping these rocks. I don't want to bore you to death. It gets kind of, you know, boring watching me do every single one of these rocks, spend you know, too much time on it. Okay, a little hole in there, which probably when I was reshaping I didn't fill it in all the way. Okay, now click back on this guy. Another thing to do is to experiment with the different brushes. Different brushes will give you different textures and stuff, and it can help with trying to make the rocks more realistic. And I'll show you what I mean in just a second here. We're getting close to filling everything up. Yeah, I just want kind of sharper edges on some of these rocks up here. It's getting a bit too blurry, but we're really close in, so it's going to look blurry. Yeah, okay, there we go. Okay, now just to show you what can be, I'm going to use this stone right here. And I'm going to add another layer, and I'm going to come over to this watercolor, and there's this one called Running, but you can try any one of these that are, like for example, this Wet Bleed is kind of got some cool, and that one's not working. Let's try, there we go. See how it can give you some rougher edges there, and you can use that to kind of, you know, give some, make the stones feel a bit more unique. Like that. But anyways, there you go. You can kind of get a different idea. Okay, I'm going to delete that layer though, because I really don't want to keep it. But like I said, experiment with different brushes to give you different styles for these brushes. Now I'm going to turn everything back on, and I want to try and adjust this a little bit better, this background. I want the color to be more towards what this is. And that's interesting, this effect here. What has happened there? Huh. Oh, I see what happened. Okay, so what I'm going to do, because I was experimenting and left this, so I've got the color selected, and then I'm just going to delete it out. Re-click on this, and then drop the bucket back in. And there we go. And now if I put everything back, and the same with this. So what we can do though is I'm gonna click on this guy like that, and I'll reverse it, and we're gonna delete everything outside of that. So go here, and there we go. All right, now we've got some stuff down here that of course doesn't have any of our texture, and that's because I cut it out and then redrew it because we had done the texture earlier. So what I need to do is come back to my brush up here, come up here, and that won't work. This will though, and this one, and this one. Okay. Now I'm going to select my selection pen so that I can get all of these guys inside here. I don't want any holes in there. Okay. And while we still have this selected, there we go. And now come down here, and we'll move this back up to white. I need the brush though. And there we go. Okay. And since we had this, what do we want to do? We want to I'm going to go ahead and render and it should just put it right inside these guys. So why am I not seeing it? That's what we want. Okay, it is putting it in there. It did. So why is it not showing up so well? I guess it's in there. It is in there. Okay, now I'll just turn those off and there we go. Okay, I think that will do it for this one. I'm kind of pleased with it, and it does look like, you know, it's got some diffusion in there. Now, when we put our plants in, and then we're going to have bubbles, and we'll have fish and stuff like that, it'll start to look more and more like, you know, it's diffused by the water, especially when we get this one in here, and it's a little more forward, a little bit darker, a little bit more detail in it. Okay. So I think that's where we'll leave this one.